we'll also welcome our guest, Dr. Larry Cohen, who is with us to share about staying healthy right now, and Ayjshane Winslett here to share her words and poetry. And we're grateful that they're here. We're grateful that you're with us. And we're going to begin like we do each and every Sunday with our Come Celebrate song, and invite you to sing along and join us. So let's sing Come Celebrate together.
Come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, one by one. Come celebrate, now and forever. Let us remember we are one. Come celebrate, join in a circle. Come celebrate, side by side. Come celebrate, now and forever. Let us remember we are one. Celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, our husband, wife, come celebrate, now and forever. Let us remember we are one. We are one. We are one.
So we invite you, as we celebrate together, to join us in our invocation, which is, O Great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea. You're inside and all around me. And we invite you to sing that once for each of the four directions. If you're able to physically turn and face the four directions, just where as you are, you can stay seated or lying down, wherever you are, wherever you're doing in this moment. Just vision with us the four directions as we begin with the east, this beautiful place of new beginnings that we're feeling right now with spring. So won't you join us?
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Turning to the south, warm, rich blessings.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Turning to the west, the land of the setting sun.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Turning to the north, the dark night.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Turning within, the divine.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Great Spirit, O Holy One, O Holy Wonder. As we turn within, we feel our connection with you afresh in this moment, just as we are, just where we are.
We join with all of creation, with the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged ones, the ones that swim and crawl, with rocks and trees, grasses, the seas, the skies, the stars, the oceans, the universe. With all of life, we celebrate and affirm our oneness. We are one. Together, we are one. And once again, we are one. Palm Sunday it is.
I'd like to acknowledge that on the Christian calendar, this is Palm Sunday, the day of Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem as he prepared to celebrate Passover with his people. And as he made that preparation, people were welcoming as a king and the savior, and he knew he was going to his death. And so Palm Sunday is that miraculous time in the calendar of the Christian church when open to the possibility of new life and resurrection, and face into the truth of death and darkness. And in that spirit, we remember today that I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. You know the song, won't you sing it with me the first time? If you don't know it, you'll be singing it the second time. Here we go. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. Got it? Here we go. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. We are free as a community, as a people of faith. We are free, we are unlimited, there are no chains that bind us. We are free, we are unlimited, right now, right now. We are free, we are unlimited, there are no chains that bind us. We are free, we are unlimited, right now, right now, right now.
So, you're feeling free and unlimited, and I invite you into share in the words of our guest poet today, Ayjshane Winslett, who is coming to us from Austin, Texas. And this is the first Sunday of National Poetry Month. So we're going to feature a poet each Sunday this month, as we always do, and check into National Poetry Month. They'll have beautiful events, virtual events happening all throughout the month. So I'm going to take a moment here to invite Ayjshane to join us virtually and show her here in the stream with us. And Ayjshane, welcome. I'm going to put you on full screen here in a moment, and we're grateful that you're with us today, and thank you for sharing your words.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Hi, well, I'm Ayjshane. I'm coming to you from my living room in Austin, Texas this morning. And I have a few poems for you. The first two poems I'm going to read are from my chapbook, Divine Ascension. This one is called The Hermit. And I know we're all social distancing right now and spending a little bit more time with ourselves. So I know too well the endless journey home. Fossils form from old soul. I must have always been searching, calling no other cavern my own. I've been known to sit waist deep inside myself. Chambered heat, caverns deep, water stains left about 100 years ago. And the masses now, they're laughing. And me, I'm just rain dancing. I got my bag of seeds. The crone isn't ever quite redeemed, but it's the harvest they can't see. And it's the worries that I won't keep. Big pictures just ain't for every mind's frame. So inward, and for dinner, I serve helpings of my own shadow stain. My utensils, a sickle and a scythe, and I'm just waiting precise until the harvest calls to strike. In these once barren fields, now ripe to pick, fresh prune yield, smells like I'm rich. The next poem I'm going to read is called The Moon. And while the moon does change often her face, there is a routine to the moon, and I feel like there is something I feel very comforted by the moon's presence and looking to the moon if she's there or isn't. So I wrote her a poem, and it goes, I'm her marionette, and my heart is like puppet strings. I get paralysis in my sleep, and I'm afraid to breathe, just deep enough to catch a lucid dream. And I'm always hypnotized by her silent drumming, her trills left strumming in my ear. She always sounds so far, never quite so near. That slither of mirror. She's never quite close enough to call Coyote all the way home. But her full face would give me full faith, even if her silhouette is a constant change. Can I trust her to feel the same? That lunar lantern, and I'm dim to life's illusions. Even though I got blurred vision, I'm dang near blind. My mouth, my nose, my ear, my guide. Dim figures, masked smells, sometimes false allies. A full mouth before I realize I'm not always so wise. I'm only looking at her traits. And I've mistaken mice for minigan, and I've never liked the taste. But when my Luna doll calls, I'll put an ear back to my pace. I'm familiar with the ways I wade muddied water, just reciting love spells to my moon. I just wish a gaze could swoon. I'd give her my hits. I'd blink a kiss. I'd hula hoop her circumference. And she phases me, she outweighs, pulls, changes, erodes, all I believe. Her crescent lips, the dark abyss, and she's silently persuading me. So the last poem I want to read is one I wrote a little bit more recently. I'm obsessed with space. I'm like a space nerd. So I wrote a space poem. Let me find it. This poem is called Meet Me in the Cosmic Sea. Could you meet me at the age of light? Illuminate me when caught off guard. come before hydrogen and helium bond, just before we turn to star. I'll reveal to thee my primordial beasts, if you show me your dark ages, the parts of you where the void is deep and a rogue planet steeps in the cold, and darkness unfolds. Shrouded in mysteries, you give me no sign, but a gravitational wave. A bleep on my radar says you are active but far away. The cosmic texture frays when you change. I'll demand again, come to my event's horizon and let us meet our black hole depths. Allow dark flow to take us to the universe's edge. Me and you are spilling over each other again, and you're afraid of what's beyond. Lost confidence in the infinite of your soul. Scattered, afraid the multiverse forgot to carve out another cosmic puzzle piece for you to hold. Galactic evolution creeps. Cosmic webs expand their reach. Now could you see me if physics challenges you on what you've preached? When all dissipates and becomes obsolete? When all cease and burn out last flame? Would you meet me again to start again and wait 1 trillion years to become? Would you stay patient and listen for life's hum? I would meet you at the edge of light, illuminate you when caught off guard. If you remember my arrival, I'll send a signal, but I'm always close, even when I'm far. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ayjshane. We're grateful for your words.
Won't you feel the resonance of those rich words as we prepare for a time of meditation by focusing on our breath. Only breath, only breathing for just a few moments. Only breath, only breathing, soft, slow, only breath, only breathing, so little to do, nothing to know. Not from the east, nor from the west, only breath, only breath. Not Christian nor Jew, nor Muslim nor pagan, only one. Only breath, only breathing, in, out, soft, slow. Only breath, only breathing, so little to do, nothing to know.
Now we come to a time of communion. When we're physically together, this would be our ritual of actually breaking bread and sharing that with one another. It's a physical manifestation of our metaphysical oneness, that we're all connected. So this morning, I invite you to join me in breathing together and remembering that we are literally breathing in the same air, each of us, wherever we are. So let's take 4 deep, long communal breaths together. And as we inhale, I suggest that you not just ingest the air that you're taking in, but to really digest it, to take it in fully, mindfully. And as we exhale, then to release and let go all that is past, all the worries, so that we can come more fully present into this precious moment right now. So together, let's inhale. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Once more. Feeling that we are one. Together. Everyone. Everywhere. And so it is.
And into this quiet, open space, we're very happy to bring our good friend, our teacher, our mentor, our doctor, Dr. Lawrence Cohen, Larry, as he's known to many and beloved by many, for being a man who stands at the intersection of multiple wisdom streams. He is a longtime Orthodox Jew and practicing in accordance with his spirituality, but also a longtime yogi who was with the Himalayan Foundation, Himalayan Institute in New York with Swamiji for many years. And he was also, he did a psychiatric residency, medical residency at a Native American reservation in Arizona. He's a homeopathic doctor who understands complementary medicine, has a really broad view of life and a deep wisdom. And we're very fortunate to have had him as a family doctor for 30 years, but also to count him as one of my very best friends and just a wonderful person. Please welcome Lawrence Cohen. Larry.
Okay.
And he's going to be on the screen any minute now. There we go.
We got to scoot in together. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Okay, now. I think we've got you now.
Am I on?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, and I hope that guy shows up today because he sounds like a great guy, and I'm looking forward to it.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time and energy to provide this wonderful opportunity for people to experience what you all give out and people to connect. It's a very special thing, and I've appreciated it and appreciate it today so much. So thank you for making this happen.
Well, thank you.
So I want to, like all good rabbis, I want to start out with a little joke.
Okay.
So I already told Zet this morning, I asked her if it was okay. She said, yes, it's like a good one. So, you know, in this time, because of the COVID thing, a lot of us are home. And some alone, some with their partners, wives, husbands, family. And there's been articles out there that talk about, you know, that people home, 2 things could happen. You have more babies or you get a divorce. Now, we all know that's a bit broader than that, but it's kind of a cute idea. So having been home with myself now for 3 weeks, I'm ready to get a divorce. I just want to say it. I'm happy to do that. I'm done with myself, I can tell you right now. So anyway, so we can all kind of appreciate that this time is a time of going inward and dealing with things that we may not have dealt with before. So we should take the opportunity to recognize that and pay attention inwardly so that as we're going through these things, we remember that this is part of the process and it's a gift. Now, I recognize that for many, this gift comes with a lot of stress, economic stress, personal lifestyle stress, social stress, many things. So none of these things are said lightly, and I hope that everyone realizes that when we speak about these things, we do them all to the best that we can, because each of us faces unique challenges at this time, some quite medical, some quite mental, some quite emotional, some quite personal. So our hearts all join together in recognizing this and using the various resources that are out there, and there are many. I am connected to multiple streams: the functional medicine integrative stream, the homeopathic stream, the medical, traditional medical stream, all the stuff that's out there. So there's a wonderful amount of pouring out of wisdom and caring in the world. And as you so well point out, we are all connected. It's not just an idea, it's a tangible reality. There are studies that are done have shown that as a planet, it's an energy sphere, and that our whole beings are connected into that energy sphere. And we've been able to see that when we as a planet experience something, this energy sphere changes. You can look this up, it's quite remarkable, actually. Or the power of prayer, that distant prayer works. So we know that all the things that we have is shared by everyone all the time. And so our first work, of course, is with ourselves, so that we can pay attention to this and take care of these things. I sent a wonderful write-up by a very fine naturopath named Amy Rothenberg. And I think you're all going to put it up, right?
We are. We're going to post it on Facebook.
Good. So it's a wonderful summary of many things. I'm not going to go into everything on there, I think, though, but she gives a lot of resources, and I really urge you, as a more holistic, complete way of thinking about things, take a look at this. And there's links, there's all kinds of stuff there.
So, Larry, Mike, I have a question.
Please, good. Yeah, good question.
What can we do right now to support our immune system and stay healthy during the COVID-19?
Right. Great question. I wish I knew all the answers. No, I'm just kidding. So here's what I would say. First, take this seriously. For those of you out there who still think, no, this is a real process going on. Oh, it's just like the flu. No, it's not just like the flu. It's actually at least 10 times more lethal than the flu. And it's more easily caught than the flu. And its stealth is remarkable. So please, washing hands, social distancing, these things are one of the first things to do, because we don't want to kind of bombard our immune system with more things. So the first thing is, don't bring more in than you need to. So this is all very important stuff. The second thing is, really, as best as you can, eat quality foods. There are foods that inhibit our system and foods that enhance our system. As much as I'd like tons of wonderful cake and cookies and ice cream, God, do I love them, sugar is not our friend. So it's really important to eat in a way that's whole foods, fresh vegetables, the greens, the balances. People call the anti-inflammatory diet, the natural foods diet. They're there for a reason, because our system has been made to use these things and to use those things to help itself. So fresh greens, all the different colors, these are all very important. There's a wonderful woman named Diane Minnick, who is a PhD in nutritionist, posts some good things, and I will pass that on and post it on our Center for Complementary Medicine Facebook page at some point. So eating well is very important. Not overeating. I don't know about you all, but I find myself sometimes just wanting to nibble. I'm at the refrigerator. I'm wandering around the house. Oh, what to do? And I just eat stuff. And I've talked to other people. I know this is not uncommon, actually, and people write about it. So pay attention to that. Recognize that as you're working with your emotions, sometimes we use food, and that we don't want to burden our system too much. We want to give it time to clean out. There are those who recommend a good 12 to 14-hour food fast every night, because there's a knowledge that our body has to go through a cleaning cycle. We have to give it time to clean, to get rid of the stuff, so we can prepare for the next stuff. So that's very important. So what we eat, how we eat.
14-hour food fast.
Right. In other words, if you have your last meal at 6 or 7 at night, then you don't eat again until 9, 10 the next day. You can have water, you can have tea, you can have coffee, whatever, but it's the caloric issue that triggers our system to move into it. Oh, it's time to digest the world. It's time to take stuff in. The system changes in response to that, because prior to that, it's been cleaning. It's like if you having worked in a hospital, there's the day shift and the night shift. Well, I can tell you that night shift's job is not the same as the day shift job. The day shift has to bring it all in, get everybody ready, get them plugged in, all the stuff happening, and a mess is created because there's paperwork. The night shift comes in, everybody's tucked in, everybody's taken care of, they clean up the stuff, clean up the paperwork, everybody in preparation for the day shift. Well, our systems are exactly the same. We have to clean up. There's emotional cleanup. There's physical cleanup. There's all kinds of recognizing that we can take that time so that our system can take care of all the goo that's in there. Because when we look at many of the people who are getting sick, when we ask, why are they getting sick? They have chronic illnesses, asthma, chronic lung disease, heart disease, diabetes, all these things. To some extent, we don't know what their lifestyles are. We don't know what they're eating, but we know it's a high probability that these people aren't necessarily eating as well as they could, and maybe not living as well as they could. And so I believe, and I think this will come out in some ways, that we have to give ourselves the nutrients to battle the outside world so we have the greatest strength that we can. So that's, I would say, those, along with washing and social distancing and recognizing these things, those are some very important things to do. But it's also recognizing that what we take in every day, just like food, is what we read and what we think. It's so easy to go, okay, what's the latest statistics? What's happening in my town? And my girlfriend lives at the center of the cyclone up in New York. Her synagogue is right where it started. So I've had the privilege, if you can call it that, of witnessing what their community has gone through. And I can tell you it's different than it is for us down here. She has people she knows who in a hospital have died. It's all around them. We here in Texas, I don't know, there's sort of, I don't know, is it here, is it not here, it's over there somewhere. No, it's here. And it's real. So that psychological position can affect our system. Stress, worry, all those things. Again, not that we shouldn't be attentive. We should. We should take this information and guide us. We should take it for real. But as much as we can, being Chicken Little, remember the sky's falling, that can't help us. It can't set up good physiology for our system at all. So the best as we can to remember, this is not the end of the world. Everything goes on. Life goes on. I know this sounds a little platitudinous, but it's just the truth. And if we have that perspective, yes, there are horrible things that happen. I'm not here to minimize any of that. But we have to recognize that, oh my gosh, life is out there. The trees, I look outside my window, the grass is growing. There's life here. Let's not forget that. Let us recognize that there is pain that's going on. We do the best for that. But let's not forget that life goes on and that we're part of that and be part of that stream. I know I'm waxing a little more than I thought I would this morning, but it's what's come to me today. And I want to share that with you. It's so important to recognize we are part of a large system and that recognize all this life that's coming. This is what you all talked about this morning. There's other things that probably are generally good for our immune system. If you go around different kind of generally regarded as good, GRAGs, I call them. You've ever heard there's certain foods that are GRAS, generally regarded as safe. I call them GRAS, generally regarded as good. So zinc seems to be very important for our immune system. So I'm not going to give doses. I really can't do that online, but like this. But zinc is very important, and not just a couple of milligrams. Also, vitamin D. There's a lot of information that vitamin D really helps our immune system. If you go on many of the websites, say, yeah, zinc, vitamin D. These are some of the big ones that are very important to help us. If you look at Ms. Rothenberg's sheet, you'll see she has echinacea, elderberry, a number of other key immune things. But we don't want to crank our immune system up. We want to give it what it needs so it can manage things and crank up when it needs to. One of the issues with people who get very sick is this thing called the cytokine storm. Now, you may know about this, may not, but what happens is Our immune system has a number of signaling stuff that goes on and things that come in, you know, take this down, build this up, tear this up, bring in the army, get the folks, get some wood, get some rocks, build it. It's a long-going cycle of healing. Depending on who we are, for many reasons, we may overreact. And so that sets up this series of chemical mediators that really cause all the inflammation. And that seems to be a very big thing that has to do with why people really get these lung problems, because where it gets people is in the lungs. Flu will make you feel bad, but having lung inflammation is what kills you. So that's really how this goes. Now, other organs can be affected. It's not just the lungs, but it's the primary area. They talk about ventilators all the time. Is because what happens, you can't get the oxygen in the blood. The lungs fill up with stuff. You have to force the air in to push it through the mess to get the oxygen into the bloodstream. And that's what a ventilator does. It's not just you're a stroke and you can't breathe. No, this is actually pushing the air through the thickness to get into the bloodstream so you can kind of keep alive. And it takes a while then to clean up that mess. The mess gets built and then it has to be cleaned up, and they have to keep you alive and do things. That's very important. And the key nutrient is vitamin C. In fact, there's some information from China and other agencies, even in this country, they're doing it, that intravenous vitamin C, although obviously you're not doing it at home. I think, oh, time to get the vitamin C plugged in. You can't do that at home. However, taking vitamin C in significant amounts can be very helpful. And I'm talking about a lot. Like I take probably, I don't know, 20 grams a day over the course of a day in powder. I put it in a little thing with my magnesium and I sip it all day long. There's a notion that keeping a steady amount all day long has a big value. There's also stuff called liposomal C. It's absorbed differently, both work together, but very important. So zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C. Are there others? Yes, I just want to give you the basics. In terms of the lungs and the airways, and I want to share with you, about less than a month ago, I got the flu. I got influenza A. And within 4 days, I was hospitalized and had to be on oxygen because influenza A also has similar potential with people who have problems. I have asthma. And I thought I was doing better, and it went south fast. And so I have an experience, thank God, not with the COVID. I pray and I'm keeping myself safe from that. But I can tell you that this is what happens. And I did a lot of research online. There are many other things. Again, I'm not going to go all the things that I take. It's 22 pills in the morning. But there's stuff there that for the lungs. So one of those is NAC, N-acetylcysteine. Very important. There's a lot of evidence. This helps the airways. I urge everybody who has lung problems to get on this. Yeah, again, my brain's going, how about this, No, there's a number of other things, and you can do research about this, but I would say NAC is very important, along with the zinc and the D and the vitamin C, and there are other immune things that we can take. But it's a system. It's a whole thing.
And so, Larry, I have a question. What makes coronavirus so different?
And as I said, and just to review, one, it's so easily transmittable. It seems like it isn't, but it is. In other words, if you get the droplets stuff and you touch it, it goes in fast. Right? It's got a high contagiosity sort of thing. Number two, it's lethality. Like I said, there's evidence that it's at least 10 times more lethal than the flu. Now, people may or may not know, we lose, I don't know, 30,000 to 50,000 people a year to the flu. A year, every year. Now, there's millions of cases. So there's a very low death rate, but this is a higher one. So those are the main things, that its contagiosity and its lethality are the biggest things that separate it from, I got a cold today.
You had said importance of vitamin D. Can you talk a bit about being outdoors? Is that a good thing, a bad thing? Parks are closed and people are...
Yeah, you can still be outdoors. You can wave people across the street as you're walking, give the 6-foot rule. Everything's important. So being outside has its own set of value. There's a lot of things that are in the air, especially these rains, the ions. I mean, just being outdoors has its own healing, nutritive value. I believe in hugging trees. I believe in being part of the earth. When I'm not feeling bad, I go out to my trees. Baby, give it to me. I want to connect with you. I do this, obviously. But being outdoors is really valuable. The D part, you have to open your skin up and stuff, also is very valuable. But the problem is we're not out enough. And you can't get enough D to crank it up. So people have to take it. I've been doing vitamin D levels for a long time on people. And I can tell you, most everybody I see is deficient or close to being deficient. So you need to take it. That's just a fact. You take it in, we'll call it, material doses that we talk about in homeopathy. I mean, it's not just, I'll take 500 units. If CDC says, no, we're talking 5, 10,000, maybe more, depending on where you might be and what your life has been. So yes, D is very important, but being outside and walking and getting our system moving. Remember, it's a cleansing process. So getting your blood going and getting the lymph channels moving, that we can move this stuff out. It's like, do I want to live in sludge? Do I want to live in flowing cleanliness? And so that walking and getting our nervous system going and our heart rate going, all these things are part of being well.
I have a question about vitamin D. So what is the connection between vitamin D and K3, I think it is? Or
yeah, this is getting down into it, but yes, there's a lot there. Let's just start with people getting the vitamin D. I think that's the first thing. The vitamin K thing, yes, it's important. These are like separate whole bodies of information. Good question. I just don't want to get too particular. Yes, there's a connection.
Yeah, you would need, excuse me.
Please check our website at celebrationcircle.org.
We forgot.
Or leave a message and we'll return your
Go ahead.
People are wanting to call in with questions, apparently, when they couldn't be doing it on Facebook.
Yeah, get on. We want questions.
If you have a question for Dr. Larry, feel free to type it into the Facebook comment thing and we'll read it.
Yeah, I'll do it. You bet. You bet. So I'm sorry, what did you say? I got lost in the last little bit. What, you asking a question?
And I would just also like to remind folks, Larry has gone rapidly through, a list of vitamins and NAC and things to do. This video, as all our videos, will be posted in our Facebook page. Once we finish doing it live, it takes about 15 minutes for it to render and post, a few minutes. But after that, you can come back and watch this video again this afternoon or tomorrow, and share it with friends so they can go through this list of recommendations Larry has for creating an optimal environment for health, because health is a bigger picture than just vitamins and just not catching coronavirus.
Okay, and I just have to say that Beverly Meyer, our dear friend and clinical nutritionist,
I see the post going on. It's like you are.
K2, not K3, and that she has blog posts.
And let Beverly do that's great. She's a great wealth of information. I appreciate her bringing that up.
And on diet and health, and you can go to her Facebook page, and she has great blogs and podcasts. So
absolutely great stuff, Beverly. Thank you. Also, when someone has asked about their husband that he had pneumonia, and they asked, is he more susceptible? The answer is maybe. We know that people who've had pneumonia have scarring in their lungs, but one has to ask why they have pneumonia. Again, each one of these things says what's unique about that person if they got pneumonia. Adults just don't usually get pneumonia, so there may be some underlying things to be thinking about. But yes, if they've had pneumonia, they may have underlying stuff, and we're all susceptible to get coronavirus. The question is, how will our systems respond to it? So those of us who have pulmonary problems, lung problems, need to be extra careful. If I have to go to the store to shop, mask, gloves, I carry wipes in the store. It's a whole thing that I do because I don't want to go. It's like I got hit once. I don't want to go through that again.
yeah.
It's not pleasant, and I take it very seriously. Any other questions?
I don't know. What about your spiritual component right now?
Right. Well, everybody has to define what they mean by spiritual component, but I do believe that how we relate to the beyond us, the great connectivity to however we recognize or think about that consciousness that is the unitary singular consciousness that unites all of us and is the total good that we all strive to be. We're all trying to be the best people we can. And that the teachings that I know talk about recognizing the ways that we get caught up in the me's as opposed to the big, opposed to how do I connect to the highest consciousness so that I can rise above all the stuff that binds me to the little things in the world. Oh, I need this. Oh, I want that. I'm afraid of this. And so that consciousness guides us through various traditions and various books on how should we be? What does goodness look like? How do we channel that goodness so that we can know if I'm thinking this way, is that the best way I can think? And so we have self-reflection. Go to I'll call them the benchmark books. For me, it's the Torah and other books like that, and the teachings around that about how do I connect to my heart and connect myself to the great spiritual place that is there and unite those things so that I'm not groveling in the dirt, as it were. So I call that being spiritual. Being more about others than being about myself. Being more about giving than looking what I'm wanting to get. Reading things that remind me, because we all get lost. We all get lost in our stuff. We have pictures of the great thinkers, the great sages, whether we do all those things. That's what we need to do. One of my favorite quotes actually is from Albert Schweitzer. I have it on my very first thing on my Facebook page, and he sort of says, I'll paraphrase, that people talk about everybody's all caught up in this and that. There's not much good, but he says, I believe, this is what Schweitzer said, I believe there's one infinite good locked up inside of us, just like beneath the earth, there's the infinite flow of waters that remains untapped. And we're all looking to help us get tapped into that flow of waters to help us bring that forth. And I think it's like we're all doing and connecting that, just like you all are doing, and what we do with each of us. So yeah, I have a lot to say about that, but I'll kind of just say that's kind of how I think about spiritual.
So much of your wisdom forth and helping us connect to that well. For those who are watching, Larry's website, complemed.com.
Net.
And .net.
.net.
Complemed.net.
Yes. Larry is available for appointments and to consult with you with specific questions and around this or any other health situation.
Telemedicine now.
Yeah, I'm actually, because I can't sit in a room with anybody right now, doing all telemedicine, and I'm there. I'm happy to set up appointments, help people, guide people through this, to do my thing that I've been doing almost for a long time, 40 years now. Actually.
Yeah. You know, I just have to say that the first time I saw you as a doctor was in 1987.
That's right. I opened my office up, right?
Yeah, very beginning. So thank you for helping us stay healthy all these years.
Amen.
Yes. Our whole family.
We are one.
We are one. So thank you, Larry. I'm going to let us continue with the rest of
Bet. Thank you so much again for offering this opportunity so people can get the information that they need and for sharing your hearts and your wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. So we're going to have a song from Rudi and then move into a meditation.
We have been challenged. We have been blessed. Coronavirus has been quite a test. Forced to let go of all we love best. Trusting in life and let go of the rest. Healing our wounds, wearing our scars, carrying our dreams in old leaky jars. Still daring to wish on a bright falling star. Grateful we've managed to make it this far. For a change of heart changes everything else. Strange as it seems, it's still true. And should we forget, it remains the same until we remember how we get to choose. have been challenged and we have been blessed. Still we keep going and hope for the best, knowing that there is no failing this test. Give all to life and keep trusting the rest. Knowing we have been challenged, but we have been blessed.
And as we move into a time of meditation together, won't you take a quiet breath or two? Eyes open or closed, wherever you are, sitting or standing, lying down. Take a moment to open your heart, open your mind to the words that we've heard, and feel your willingness to see and feel and receive this time of spring, this time of new beginnings. It's moving through you as you right now. There is so much to be learned from the small seeds that are buried underground in the dark as they surrender to the light and the warmth of the sun. We too have those dark buried parts that are waiting for the light to crack us open. And this time of isolation and quarantine is giving us each the opportunity to surrender to whatever may feel dark or hopeless. This is your time. This is our time to open up to the magnificent possibilities of awakening to the truth of who you truly are. You are love. You are loved. You are loving, and you are lovable. In this moment, won't you feel that this is your truth? This is your reality. As you allow the light to fill and infiltrate every cell and fiber of your being. As you release any illusion of separation from the source, from the fertile soil that is your life. Won't you allow yourself to crack open and blossom, to bloom into your truth? For this is who you truly are and always have been. One with all of life. Won't you take a moment now to feel the fullness of spirit, of spring, of this newness flowing in and through your body, your physical being, your emotional well-being. Feel that this moment contains the potential for newness in all areas of your life. Feel this truth as you rest in the silence now. And now. And now. And from this place of newness, of light, this place of love, won't you send this feeling out into the world? Blessing as you have been blessed. As each and every one is blooming and growing into the truth that we are love. We are one. Today and tomorrow and all of our tomorrows. And so it is.
In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. 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 In all things give thanks. Give thanks for the gift of life, the one light shines through all of creation with hands and hearts open wide. We lift our voices in celebration. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. 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 In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks.
So, today, I'm holding up this Tibetan bowl as just a symbol of our gifts, our offerings, our love, our gratitude for everything that we have and are and will be. And I invite you to make a donation if you're able to the Celebration Circle. We'll post the link on Facebook. You can go to celebrationcircle.org and make a gift there. The support button, menu bar, or donate button. You know the routine. And we know that you're getting asked a lot right now because this is a crucial time for so many organizations and individuals to maintain and stabilize with this great uncertainty and the great unknown, the mystery that we're living in right now. So I just ask you to hold whatever gift you have in your heart and your hands, and to speak the words, I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me, with heart wide open. And together,
I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me,
with heart wide open. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks to the gifts of Larry Cohen and Ayjshane Winslett. We're grateful for your words of wisdom and beauty and honoring who you are and how you are in the world.
And we're going to do a virtual closing circle where we hold our hands out to touch each other. As we remember that love is the only power. Love is the only way as we watch our circle grow. So,
love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow. Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, love, love. Watch our circle grow.
Okay, I'm trying to get Larry on here. There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
Well, go in peace, grow in peace, live in peace.
you're not in.
All right.
There we go. Blessings to everyone. Have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Also, a reminder that I'm doing a meditation at 4 o'clock each Monday through Friday. And Rudi is doing Rudi's Happy Hour Live at 5 with songs and music every Monday through Friday at 5. Goofy and coronavirus all there. So blessings. We love you. We bless you. We see the light in you.
Go in peace.